Hello, this is Lisa here from Little Owl's Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I wanted to share this project with you. I made these gift bags as a thank you for my customers for their purchases over the year. So I wanted to share with you how I made it. This particular paper that I used for this one is from the Candy Lane DSP from the Autumn Winter Christmas catalogue. So I'm going to use another piece of paper from the same set to make another one to show you how I made it. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is cut your paper to, this one is 11 inches by 6.5 inches. Now we are going to score on the long side. Oops, there's a bit falling off my scoreboard. Okay. Don't worry about taking a note of the measurements because I will make sure that I put them on my blog, and there'll be a link to my blog at the bottom of this video. So you're going to need to score on the long side at 4 1/4, 5 1/4, 9 1/2 and 10 1/2. Then you're going to turn it and you're going to score the short side at 1 inch. Okay, that's all the scoring that you need to do. Now, before we fold and burnish those score lines, we're going to cut off the pieces that we don't need. It's very difficult to see on this actually. I hope you can see on the camera the score lines. If I show you the other side, I think you can see them clearly. The only piece we don't need is this little corner bit here. So if we just snip this little corner piece off, and then all we need to do after that is snip along this line here, this line here, and this line here. Okay, now we're ready to fold and burnish our score lines. Set one more on this side and the bottom ones. And that one there. Okay, now if you make sure that your piece of paper is the right side up, and you are going to glue along this thin edge down here. You can just about see there's our fold line. So you're just going to glue this thin edge here. I'm just going to use a glue runner. I think it probably depends what you want to put in the bag. In this bag, for my customer, I have an ink pad, which I suppose is reasonably weighty, but I have found that just using a glue runner has actually sealed absolutely fine. I've had no problems with these boxes opening. But if you wanted to put something heavier, I don't know, a candle or something heavier into it, then you might want to use double-sided sticky tape or something. But I'm just going to use a glue runner. If my glue runner decides it wants to go. Oh my god, it doesn't seem very happy to go today. Right, okay. And if you fold that over there and fold this one, that should just meet up perfectly to fold down. Now, you want to score. I like to tuck my back flap in first, and then I like to score glue. Sorry, it's very difficult to see once this is. Let's put it like that. There we go. Okay. I'm going to put some glue on the little side flaps on the wrong side, on both of them there. And then I'm going to put some glue on the wrong side of this long flap. It doesn't really matter which long flap you decide to do. So I am going to tuck my back flap in first, then I'm going to fold in my side flaps. The reason I do this is I find it a little bit easier to keep it nice and square if I fold in the back flap first, and then lastly fold down the bottom flap and stick it. And if you just pop your hand inside and give it a wee rub, that makes sure that it is stuck nice and firmly. And then all you need to do is give the sides just a little pinch and push in at the sides, and that gives you a little bit of a fold ready for what you want to put in it. Okay, that is the basic bag made. Now we're going to make the tag. Now for the tag you'll need 3 pieces of card. I have chosen, if I take this back you can see the colours. I have chosen crumb cake, real red and whisper white card because these match beautifully with the Candy Lane DSP. So your crumb cake, which will be the back piece here, you need to cut a piece that measures 4 3/8 of an inch by 2 inches. The next size down is 3 1/2 by 1 7/8, and the last one is 3 3/8 by 1 3/4. So the first one I'm going to pop through Stampin' Up's scalloped tag punch, really easy to use. It is a 2-inch gap, so if you cut your paper 2-inch it should slide through perfectly. Mine's a little tight, I must have cut it just a little bit bigger. That slides through perfectly. There we go. Bit of rubbish. Okay, now I'm going to pop that aside for a minute, and the real red piece, because now we're going to stamp on this white piece here. Now on this top piece here I'm just going to stamp the greeting, and I have chosen the words "a little thanks," and that's from this stamp set here, One Big Meaning, and it's just this little one here. I really like it. It's a very nice little saying, and I'm going to stamp that in real red to match the cardstock. Now I'm hoping my head doesn't go in front of the camera when I stamp this. Please excuse me if it does. I'm just going to pop that on the bottom there. There we go. And we'll just set that aside. Now the next thing that you need is just a piece of scrap Whisper White, and on this we're going to stamp the gingerbread man from Cookie Cutter Christmas. I really love this set because it's not just for Christmas. It has a really gorgeous teddy bear that comes up beautifully. I love the teddy bear. In fact, I have another card here that I can show you. This is how the teddy bear comes out. It's really very cute. So the teddy bear is my favourite, but I also really like the gingerbread man. He is lovely. So that's what we're going to stamp, and we're also going to stamp the little bow tie for the gingerbread man. So for the gingerbread man I am going to stamp in crumb cake, and I do tend to always have a little practice stamp with this one when it's a light coloured stamp, just to make sure that I'm actually getting a good coverage. Obviously there I didn't. So we'll just try that again, and hopefully looks like we'll have a good coverage this time. We'll just stamp him on there. Okay. Now we are going to be using the Cookie Cutter Christmas punch along with this stamp, so it is easier. I have cut out a little inlay because it can be difficult. I want to punch the little bow tie as well, and it can be difficult to get it laid out perfectly so that you can stamp both together. It doesn't always work, sometimes I have to repunch. But if I lay that over there, and I know that is where I'm going to be punching the gingerbread man, it means I can see where I need to place my bow tie. And I'm using real red for the bow tie. And again, excuse my head if it pops in. Just want to make sure that's properly lined up. Yes, that's fine. Okay, so hopefully now when I pop this in here, it should be lined up. Yep, there we go. Do you know, I'm just going to have to trim a little bit off the bottom of this card. There we go. I had the card a little too big to slide down properly. Yeah, that's better. Okay. I usually just take a wee minute just to completely make sure that I have it all even. Oh, perfect. Okay. So we have our little gingerbread man and his bow tie. Now I'm going to attach the bow tie just using a glue dot. I'll pop a glue dot on the back of there, and I'm going to attach that on the middle. There we go. Now I'm going to glue down this onto here before I put the gingerbread man on, because I'm using dimensionals. It's tricky to glue once you've got dimensionals on. So I'm going to glue this on first. A little bit of glue runner. See, it got a little bit of glue stuck on it there, but it doesn't matter because the gingerbread man is going to cover that piece over. Right, that's nice and centred. And now I'm going to use dimensionals to stick the gingerbread man on. Just 3 down the middle roughly is all it needs just to keep him on. And I'll just take the backings off of that. Okay. And pop him down there. Okay. And now we're going to use dimensionals again to put this onto the gift tag itself. Let me just take the backs off of that as well. Okay. So I'm just going to, sorry, I may be doing that off camera, am I? I'm just going to line that up. I want to leave a little bit of a gap here because I want to be able to attach the ribbon. Okay. So all I need to do next is attach the ribbon. Excuse me a second. I forgot to get the ribbon looked out, so excuse me for that. So we just need a small piece of ribbon. And I'm just going to tie a little knot in it. You could tie a bow if you thought it looked nicer. Probably does look nicer, but I'm not very good at tying bows. So a knot will do for me. Now, and I'm just going to try and arrange it so that it sticks to the side a little bit because we have our clip to put on. There we go. I'm just going to trim off the ends. This ribbon is beautiful. It's a very, I don't know if you can see from the camera how shiny it is, but it's very, very satin. It's lovely and smooth. It's a beautiful ribbon. Okay, and all that remains for me to do now is to use one of these adorable little bulldog clips and attach that onto the front of there. And there is your gift bag, ready to put whatever you want into it. As I say, I found these perfect for my customer gift bags because They're very, very quick and easy to do. You will find all the details of this project on my blog. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Bye for now.